Hello everyone and welcome back to another Minecraft update video. This is Snapshot 22w06a. It's a smaller one. However, like last week, there is also a beta for Bedrock released today. So we're going to be checking that out later in the video. But first of all, a little bit of Minecraft news. So we have recently seen the introduction of Minecraft Preview, which will eventually replace the beta edition of Bedrock. And the news is that this is now available for Xbox. And if you want to activate it on Xbox, you've got to go to the Xbox Insiders program. And I don't have an Xbox, so I don't know how to tell you to do this, but this tweet from Echo Soldier has some images and is a little bit of a guide on how to activate this if you have Xbox. Next up, Minecraft Dungeons has hit 50 million players in the player base, and to celebrate, they are launching the Festival of Frost. This is a one-off event running from February the 8th to the 22nd. It's a tower running challenge, and if you log in after the 8th of February, you will get an Isologger cape as a reward for being part of the Dungeons community. Our third and final piece of news is for Java players, a reminder that you'll be cut off from playing the game unless you have migrated to a Microsoft account. I made a video covering this on the channel. And a correction from that video, you will still be able to get a cape if you migrate after March the 10th. So if you haven't migrated yet, you've only got a month left, and after that point you won't be able to play Java with your account, so best to get on the migration process as soon as possible. Now let's talk about Minecraft Snapshot 22w06a. There are only really 3 things to cover in this update. This first change is for South Korean players. The game has been updated to be in compliance with gaming laws in that country, meaning that there are going to be gameplay timers and notices that will pop up to remind players to take a break on occasion. And honestly, I think that would be a really nice feature just to have in general, a little timer to remind you to go and take a break. And I had a look through the menu to see if this was available anywhere for myself being in the UK. Couldn't find anything, but I did notice this. There's a hide lightning flashes. So yeah, if you want to turn off those lightning flashes, you've got an option to do that. Next up, we have the bugs, of which there are only 4. If a parrot was on your shoulder and you used the Riptide enchantment on your trident, it would kill the parrot, which it will no longer do. If you have ever used a rocket to fly directly upwards, you might recall getting the particle effect directly in your face. It would have looked something like this, but as you saw a moment ago, that's been taken care of in this snapshot. Using the water world setting in a super flat world would stop ocean monuments from spawning incorrectly, and meaning that you would have issues with guardian spawning and whatnot. That's been taken care of. And lastly, structure blocks were not rotating entities when correctly loading. This meaning if you had a mob or an armor stand like here, it will now be correctly rotated with the structure. Next up, we got a big technical change which unlocks a lot of the game's potential in terms of modding and custom experiences through maps. And I kind of get the gist of what's going on here, but I've been unable to get into the weeds of it, even though I've had some help from some players who understand this stuff. So I'll give you a brief summary of what's going on here. So here on the website, you'll see a whole bunch of technical information listed, but the general idea here is that many features inside of the game, like structures, items, biomes, or blocks, have now all been converted to the tag format, meaning that you can create lists of tags and swap features around using data packs and whatnot, and this really does sound like a big deal. So this could be like opening Pandora's box for custom experiences. However, I don't really understand the fullest extent of what's going on here. But if anything, it should just mean that we get more cool maps and custom experiences made by the community in the future. It's now time for the Bedrock beta, and apparently one of the changes was an animation for the goat horn in first and third person. But yeah, this literally seems to be it. The animation is just that. Frog spawns are now going to be visible when viewed from below. Look at that, we can see them through the water. And now for the big change that you've actually been waiting for, the Froglights. We have new textures, first of all. And you're probably thinking, that doesn't look new. I think the change here is very subtle. Here's a screenshot from the previous video that I did with the Froglights included. And here we can see that in general they're a little bit lighter overall. There's a little less detail in the middle coming through, and I think the borders have been softened up. But there's another big change as well. You're now able to custom rotate the block in the direction that you want, and that introduces a third texture that you can see right here, which is even softer than the other ones with less detail in the middle. So the way you place the block now defines what way the texture will be rotated. These ones we placed off of the side, those ones off of the bottom, and then off of this face are these ones here. And in case you're curious, you will see that texture, on the bottom and top side, depending on what way it's rotated. So in a ways, all the textures have been changed and a new one has been added on two sides of the block. And my own opinion on these texture changes, well, I think it's a little bit on the bright side, especially with that new texture you can see here at my feet. But otherwise, all in all, some good changes right here. And that brings us to the end of the video. So if you want to keep watching, YouTube reckons that you might like one of these listed on the screen. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you soon with some more Minecraft news. Bye bye.